it's nice when the rest of the theater is as invested as I am. And so then their reactions are like very real and raw. And so I don't care if they're making noise because it's like I can feel the emotion pouring out of them from whatever the movie is doing. And it just enhances the experience to me. I went to the movies last night, as per usual. I had two very good experiences in the theater last night. And by good experiences, I just mean that, nothing went to plan, really. Both of the experiences were technically awful in their own ways, but they were beautiful at the same time. The first movie that I saw at 3:30 was Tuner. It was actually the second time I was attempting to watch this movie. First time I tried to watch it on Friday, I think, and there was just a couple of people in there who wouldn't shut up, and then there was one guy who developed a coughing fit about halfway through, and so with about 40 minutes left in the movie, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I just left, and then so I just bought another ticket for Sunday, and I was like, I'll come back and see it again. I went back to a different AMC this time, but they had a showing at 3:30, and I was like, cool, 3:30 is not bad, I'll be out of there by like 6, and it's no big deal. And I'll just watch it all over again. And so I sat down in this theater, and it's going great. Everybody in the movie theater's chill. Everybody's locked in. Nobody's chitter-chattering. People are intensely watching the movie, though. And so that's happening. And then about 40 minutes to go in the movie, about the same point that I gave up last time, there's a thunderstorm outside, and the power goes out. And so we all end up in pitch black darkness in silence. And amidst the silence, I just do what I normally do in the theater when the movie's not on, which is I normally keep a book or something on me just to like pass the time a little bit cleaner. Today's selection was actually There Is Never Anything But the Present by Alan Watts. It's basically just on each page there's like a small quote or some words of wisdom from Alan. And as I was doing this, it was dark in there, so I took my phone and I set it up in my neck and squished down on it, but I had the flashlight on so I could read this book. And as I'm reading the book, I hear people murmuring behind me, and I notice one guy is like, hey, you should do a shadow puppet show. And then so I just did a nice middle finger shadow puppet, and everybody laughed and giggled, and we all kind of just joked about how the power was out or whatever, free movies and yada yada yada. But as I was flipping through my book waiting for the movies to be back on, I read this quote: "Other people teach us who we are. Their attitudes toward us are the mirror in which we learn to see ourselves, but the mirror is distorted." That being said, I was just already enjoying this movie so much, but then that connection to the audience right before the show started was just everything. And then when the movie was over, we were all walking out talking like we were old friends, and that felt good. Then I left the movie theater and I went about my business for an hour, and I came back to see Obsession at 6:30. And as I walk up to the theater, sure enough, it's the exact same theater I was just in, and I was like, oh, this is neat. The power just went out in here. I had this spiritual experience with the rest of the audience, and I enjoyed a really good movie. Now somehow I feel like I'm going to enjoy Obsession more. And it's a different group of people. It's not like the same 20 to 30 people sat back down with me. So it's an entirely new group of human beings. And as I sit down, I notice that the screen is off and it's all dark in there again. And it's this feels like the power outage. And I finally look down at the clock and I'm like, well, we're about 5 to 10 minutes past showtime. And there's no previews playing even at this point. So I should probably go say something. So I get up out of my chair. I go to the front desk. I go, hey, Theater 12, it's not playing. And then as I get back in, I just let everybody know, hey, I went. They said they're going to look at it or whatever. It should be fine. And then this lady behind me, I don't know how she ascertained that I had seen it already, or I go to the theater a lot. She was like, is it scary? My son told me to watch this. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to tell you anything. You have a great son. He wants you to watch a really good movie. Just enjoy it. It'll be fine. You'll live. I was like, and your husband's right there. It's going to be okay. And then the movie goes, and there's a group of teenage girls sitting back there. And right before, honestly, that was one of the funniest things that happened, is right before the movie started, this group of teenage-ish girls, I'm assuming teenagers because they were just kind of obnoxious just in presence. As they sit down, they're just kind of jaw back and forth, they're talking. And the one girl's like, you know I don't like scary movies. You know I get scared easy, blah, blah, blah. She kind of hears me giggle and a couple other people in the audience giggle, kind of listening to her say that. And she just out loud to the entire room goes, if I'm too much, y'all can just tell me to shut up. And then we all laughed, and it was a good moment to break that ice of like, I think there was a few of us that were like, oh, are they gonna talk the whole time? And then it was like when she said that, I was like, oh, she's aware, but also she's got a good energy about it, so I'm sure she's just gonna react to the movie and be locked in. And so whatever noise she does make is only gonna make this better. And I tell you what, there is nothing better. All throughout this movie, I've already seen it twice, so I know everything's happening. And I'm looking for like little details I might have missed before and like really like diving in. But then I'm also paying attention to everybody else's reactions as they watch it for the first time. And it was just so amazing, the variety of like emotional response to some of these scenes. But it was fun to watch with these people. And I just think overall that kind of experience is what I crave at a movie theater most of the time. And I can't wait to go back to the movie theaters again. A longer video about how much I've come to love movies even more this year coming soon. But anyways, I just wanted to share that experience from last night, and I don't know, in some way, shape, or form, I hope it gets back to all the people that were in that theater or those theaters last night, and just know how much I appreciated the experience and sharing it with all of you. It was fantastic, and I hope everybody enjoyed the movies that we watched together. Go to the theater, losers.
Goes on, it goes on.